So this is where it's all going to happen now. Action's happening now. This is where Arthas' story really starts. That was all mainly background of him becoming the young prince that he is. Alright, so shortly after he visits Thrall, there's this news of a plague kind of going across Lordaeron, and Arthas is sent out to investigate it, and also Jaina as well is interested in it. The Kirin Tor, Dalaran sends her out to investigate it. So Arthas and Jaina kind of meet up, and they're like, "Oh, hey." It's cool how they meet too. Like, I think this happens in Warcraft 3 also, and it happens in the book. There's a girl running from two ogres, and Arthas' army is like, "Oh, we gotta help her!" And Arthas sees who it is, and sees a smirk on Jaina's face, and Arthas is like, "No, stand down. She'll take care of it." And they're like, "What? These huge ogres are gonna kill this girl." So, and it's cool the way they describe it in the book, like much more detailed than the little cutscene in the game. And sees a smirk on her face, and Jaina turns around, fire, and just burns this ogre, and this ogre freaks out and is like, "Ah, he's burning in flesh," and the other one tries to run away, and she burns that ogre, and that's how they meet. And Arthas is like, "Jaina Proudmoore, oh, you haven't changed." Jaina's like, it's like a reunion, and Arthas introduces her to the army. "Oh, everybody, meet Lady Jaina Proudmoore," and blah blah. And so they all meet, and then they're trying to investigate this plague that's going on. Like, people are sick, people are dying. So they're going through this town of Brill, and this is basically Warcraft 3 starting. Like, this is, I think, one of the levels in Warcraft 3. They're going through this town of Brill, and it's kind of like abandoned. And Arthas and Jaina, they're looking around. Something's not right. Arthas kind of goes, "Hey, people of Brill, I'm your prince. I'm Arthas. Please come out if anyone's around. I want to talk to anybody." And they smell death, basically. It doesn't smell good, and they're wondering what's going on. So people start coming out, but not the people they expect. Like undead people, like unholy, just jaws to the side. You know what the undead look like. You can see their skin, you can see their bones, and they start coming out. And Arthas is like, "Holy shit!" and brings up his paladin hammer because he's a badass paladin. It glows with the light, and the light is like cuts a knife through butter through undead, because undead is unholy and the light is holy. So that's the whole thing. Paladins murder undead, and Jaina's just fire just starts burning people, which makes it smell worse because they're burning like undead flesh, and they all have to fight, and they're trying to fight for their lives. They're like, "What the hell is all this crap?" And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, "Did this used to be the villagers?" And they're trying to figure it out. And then this guy shows up, this bad mage, and Jaina immediately recognizes him, and she's like, "Kel'Thuzad!" And Kel'Thuzad was this mage that Jaina heard about from being in Dalaran and being in the Kirin Tor, and from Antonius. This mage that was dabbling in necromancy, which is basically like raising the undead, this dark magic. She hears about this, and it's him, and she's like, "Holy shit, Kel'Thuzad, it was you. This is what you're doing. Can't you see what you're doing? This is bad. You should not be dabbling in this shit." Kel'Thuzad's like, "It's what I do," and like he's kind of mysterious, and they don't know what it is, and he's like, and he kind of says something about Andorhall, which is a bigger city where grain is produced and like dispersed throughout the the kingdom, and so they're like, "Shit!" So he goes to Andorhall, and he teleports there, and they're like, "We gotta follow him." So they decide to go to Andorhall. In Andorhall, they realize that the grain is carrying the plague. They fight a bunch of people in Andorhall, and they were like, and I think Kel'Thuzad straight up tells them, or anyways, they figured out somehow the grain is what's this plague is getting around, and it's being dispersed through this grain. It's infected. So Arthas is pissed at Kel'Thuzad, and he's like, "No, you can't do this to my people." And he's just like, he's starting to freak out and trying to be like who he's supposed to be. He wants to be the best he can be for his people. He's kind of a hero. Like, he wants to be a hero. He's always been a man of the people, and now is his chance to defend his people. And this is his people. This is his kingdom, his father's kingdom. But it will be his kingdom, and he's just pissed at Kel'Thuzad. He's like, you can't do this. What the hell? And he eventually kills Kel'Thuzad, and before Kel'Thuzad dies, he says, my death won't matter, something to that effect. He's like, it means little in the big scheme of things. Arthas is confused at this point, but he alludes to Mal'Ganis, who's like this demon, this Dreadlord demon, who is going to be in Stratholme. And he's kind of the head of this, and he's pissed, and so Arthas is like, Stratholme, Mal'Ganis, fuck him, and he's just like, and Kel'Thuzad dies, and Martha's happy that he's dead. He's like, glad that's over, but we got to get out of here because the infected grain is getting out, and we got to get to Stratholme because there's hell of infected grain going there, and Stratholme's a big city. So they go on their way to Stratholme, and they're trying to hurry really quick, and Arthas is like pushing to their limit, and Jaina is like really weak at this point, like mega weak, because mages have to eat a lot. It's mentioned a lot in every book, like they kind of carry beef jerky around with them, because using their power just drains them, and they need to eat protein all the time to keep it back up. So Jaina's like chewing on beef jerky, and Arthas sees this, but he's pushing them. He's like, we can't stop, we can't stop. And Jaina just doesn't want to let Arthas down, so she's like, okay. But eventually they stop in this town of Hearthglen to rest, because Jaina just can't go anymore. And, of course, all the soldiers that are with him want to rest, but they won't say anything because they'll do whatever Arthas says. So they all finally decide to rest for a very brief amount of time. And at this point, in the frenzy of everything, there's kind of a night where Arthas and Jaina kind of talk, and everything goes away, the plague and everything, and Arthas kind of rekindles his relationship with Jaina. And he's like, I don't know what I was doing. Like, we've had a lot of time now. I think we should be together again. After all this, you'll be my queen and I'll be your king. And Jaina's happy, and she always wanted this and never understood why Arthas didn't want to be together again and why Arthas broke it off. So they're happy, and so during this night of rest, they kind of rekindle and sleep together, and it's like a beautiful night in the book and whatever. So the next morning comes, and Arthas is cooking breakfast, and he's like, it's time to go, we gotta go again. And then all of a sudden they smell the flesh of the undead, and this huge army of undead is coming to attack Hearthglen where they're staying. And Arthas is like, you need to go get Uther, because this is big, and Uther will help, and he's another paladin, he can help kill all these undead, and he needs to know anyway. Everyone needs to know about this problem. Like, it's not just a plague, there's also this problem with this undead that's out of nowhere, so we don't know what's happening. So Jaina's like, no, I can't leave you, I gotta stay and help fight. He's like, just do it, I'll be fine. So Jaina, because she's magic, teleports out of there to get Uther. Arthas stays and fights, so it's this huge fight, and he's just like, blah, blah, this hammer. And everyone's fighting, just shing, shing, shing. Undead, they're coming in waves. He's seen all these effed up undead that seem to be stitched together from other body parts, and those are the abominations. From Warcraft 3, and you see him like Stitches in World of Warcraft. I think his name was Stitches down there in, you know what I'm talking about. What the hell is that city? God, I haven't played World of Warcraft. Again, I haven't played World of Warcraft since before all the expansion packs. I still follow the lore and blah, blah, blah. But that's why I can't think of names right off the bat. But Darkshire, that city Darkshire, there's this whole mission with the Stitches. It's this huge abomination that walks the path, and you gotta go kill him. Anyways, that's an abomination. He starts to see these abominations. They're all stitched together from other body parts, just like crazy undead. He's like, what is this crap? This is disgusting. And he's trying to figure it out. And he puts two and two together, I think, at this point, and he realizes that it's the grain is infected, and that's what this plague is. It's getting everyone sick. But it's not just getting them sick. It's killing them and making them reanimate into undead, like, because he sees it happen. He sees somebody die, and he sees them come back to life. And this plague is what's making this undead army, this unholy army. The people themselves are being turned into this army of the undead. And Arthas is like, this is bullshit. Like, he's like, ah, and it fills him with rage, and he's just being overcome by all these undead people, and he doesn't know if he's gonna live, but if he does, like, he's gonna fucking kill Mal'Ganis and for doing this to his people, and he started killing all these people. He's killing his people basically, but he knows it's not his people. This is not what his people want, so he's just murdering him. And at the last moment, like when they may have been overcome, Uther shows up, Jaina shows up, and at that point the fight evens out and the fight ends with them being the victor, and they've defended successfully Hearthglen, so Hearthglen doesn't become as horrible. And to this day, I think it's still standing.